I do have the door open to my room, so Loki is going to come in every once in a while. He's here now giving me a ball. Mommy busy. Hi, Lanny. Good morning. D. Lewis Designs. Good morning. Did I see Michi? Hello. Good morning. Shimmer and Beads. Sunshine State Paper Company. Sarah. Good morning. Welcome in. Hello. How is everyone doing? You'll have to bear with me. I might have some. I had minor surgery yesterday, which is why I didn't do my show yesterday. I had minor surgery. I'm okay. It's going to take 4 weeks for a biopsy, yada, yada, yada. But I'm okay, except I've got a spot on me that hurts. It still hurts. And so if I make a face, it's not about you. It's about the pain. So that's all. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah. So yesterday I took the day off. And the surgery was in Toronto, so like 2 hour drive back, but we did get really great Turkish food. Thank you. We did get really great Turkish food. So, and the doctor thought that I wasn't over 50 when we were, and then she had looked at the chart and she's like, oh yeah, you should be getting a mammogram. But she thought I wasn't over 50, so extra bonus. So okay, we're unboxing again, so bear with me. I grabbed one box that was I've been driving around in my van with. Yeah, we're just gonna have a chill book hangout. I'm not gonna go too fast. I'm not gonna push myself. If I start to feel off, then we'll just raid someone and we'll spread the love that way instead. So I've got I've got 8, 9, 10. 10 boxes of books behind me, plus a box of books I've been driving around in my freaking van with for way too long. Embarrassingly long period of time. So I did bring that in. Yeah, I probably overdid it just doing that, but So uh we're gonna go through this box first, and then you all can decide whether we do a box from column number 1, column number 2, or column number 3, but that's not for a bit. And I think I'm just going to take it kind of slow today, and read some of the passages from the books or read some of the blurbs from the books, so we get to know these books. And if it doesn't sell, I might drop it to $1 every once in a while if the book is like not something that I want to keep on my shelves for future shows, or for selling in my booth. I might rent it for $1 every once in a while. So you never know. So welcome in. I said Groovy. How are you? Your reseller that, by the way, everyone, I said Groovy did this great thing during the Canada Day raid train where she had reseller lots, and I bought one of them, and oh my gosh, I want to keep it all. I want to keep it all. So it's a me seller lot, not a reseller lot. So thank you. Lanny Campbell says I got 2 amazing bundles from her. Like amazing stuff, right? Holy cow. And like you individually marked which ones were sterling, and like it just, I love you. I love you. It was awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into it. I got fresh batteries in my scale. I've got the machine is just going to automatically print for me, supposedly. So we'll see if that actually functions. That'll be fun to see, because I'm testing out Notbot, which will print out my labels for me. So we'll see. We're going to start with this one. Canada's Glory, Battles That Forged a Nation. And let's just weigh it first so we can pin it. It's 1 to 2 pounds. So that means I'm going to do it on my phone, I think. No, I'm going to do it on the computer. I'm faster on the computer. Medium book. We're going to pin. Okay, so this will start at $2. Canada's Glory, Battles That Forged a Nation by Arthur Bishop. It was written in 1996. Printed and bound, best books, blah, 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 blah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So this is probably a first. I learned this, that if this is all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, then this is probably a first printing. I wonder if the book, that's a good question. So this says, In Canada's Glory, Arthur Bishop once again brings Canadian history vividly to life through his powerful narrative style. Sorry, I should hold it up, then I can't see it properly. Um, here are the here are the battles that forged a nation, from the climax of the British-French struggle for Canada on the plains of Abraham in 1759 to the end of the Korean War in 1953. So you're right, Jagoda. There's although the battles, although the outcomes of the battles may differ, some triumphantly won, others tragically lost. They all further define Canada. Spanning over 200 years of Canadian history and over 30 major battles, Canada's Glory includes the War of 1812, when Upper Canada and Lower Canada united to defeat the American threat, giving Canadians a true sense of nationalism for the first time. The Boer War in South Africa from 1899 to 1902, where Canadian troops first fought and won overseas. World War I and its grim trench warfare. World War II with its triumphs and tragedies, etc. So I will run that now. 10 seconds. And that is running now for $2. Canada's Glory, Battles That Forged the Nation. 200 years of Dragoda says the War of 1812 is overlooked in books sometimes. You're right. You're totally right. It is, unfortunately. I need another box. I need a second box because I'm sorting as I go. Right, that makes more sense, Kim. Okay. Duh. Oh, right, and then books that sold. Oh, gosh. I'm doing well today, everybody. Hang on. Push this back. Get this here, and then I can grab. Hang on, please hold. Okay. And then this for sold books. Okay, all right, now I've figured it out. All right, what else do we have here? Oh gosh, this is really heavy, whatever this is. Let's see. It's a book. It's a book. Ooh. It's a big book. It's almost 4 pounds, which means that when let's see, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. I'm gonna pin it here because just if I wrap it in, if you only buy this and I poly wrap it carefully, I'll be just under. Okay, so this is Pathology for the Surgeon. Now, for my ephemera friends, it's 1956 imprint in here from Saunders Company, 1955. 7th edition with 647 illustrations, including 10 in color. And it's Pathology for the Surgeon. And okay, so if you're squeamish, look away for a minute because I'm going to be showing pathology pictures. There are lots of pathology illustrations in here. So if you're someone who likes curiosities and that kind of stuff, it's very fast. This is all explaining surgical, for surgeons, the information about gallbladder, the upper urinary tract, the female reproductive system, etc., carcinomas, lymphatic system, all in here. Anyone who's into that sort of thing is going to love this. Pathology for the Surgeon. We are going to run that for 10 seconds for $3. So I will keep this otherwise. Pathology for the Surgeon is running now, 7th edition, 1955. Again, look away if you're a little squeamish because there might be pictures in here that you won't like. All right. Next up, you can look back. We're done with that. We're going to go into this box. And it looks like there's fiction in here. It is fiction. We're going to start off with Canadian fiction. We have a novel, Oryx and Crake, by Margaret Atwood. There she is. When was this published? Somebody underlined. Why did they underline it? Okay. I could perhaps, like others, have astonished you with strange, improbable tales, but I rather choose to relate plain matter of fact in the simplest manner and style. because my principal design was to inform you, not to amuse you. Jonathan Swift from Gulliver's Tales. It's a cool dystopian novel. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Okay, let me just check here. Date 2003 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So I think this is the 7th printing. All right, and or the 6th or 7th printing. Handmaid's Tale. Margaret Atwood's classic novel, The Handmaid's Tale, is about the future. Now, in Oryx and Crake, the future has changed. Ooh, this could be a show. I don't know why I said it so loudly. The narrator of Atwood's riveting novel calls himself Snowman. When the story opens, he is sleeping in a tree, wearing an old bedsheet, mourning the loss of his beloved Oryx and his best friend Crake, and slowly starving to death. He searches for supplies in a wasteland where insects proliferate and pigoons and wolvogs ravage the pleblands, where ordinary people once lived, and the compounds that sheltered the extraordinary. As he tries to piece together what has taken place, the narrative shifts to decades earlier. How did everything fall apart so quickly? Why is he left with nothing but haunting memories? Alone, except for the green eyed children of Crake, who think of him as a kind of monster, he explores the answers to these questions in the double journey he takes into his own past and back to Crake's high tech bubble dome, where the Paradise Project unfolded and the world came to grief. Oh my. Okay. This is a hardback. It's a hardback. Paperback. It sounds well according to Lanny Campbell, this is a very cool dystopian novel and well worth reading, and this is a hardcover edition of it. I wonder what the cover looks like. Oh, no, nothing exciting with that. Although I like the spine. Okay. Margaret Atwood, you're staying with me. What else do we have in here? Nanjing Requiem, a novel, Ha Jin, National Award-winning author of Waiting. Okay. Let's see. Start with when it was published, and then we'll work our way back. This is a work of fiction, yada, yada, yada. 2011 by Ha Jin. All rights reserved. This is printed in the United States of America, first edition. All right. And it was on clearance. Okay. The award-winning author of Waiting and War Trash returns to his homeland in a searing new novel that unfurls during one of the darkest moments of the 20th century, the Grape, take away the G, of Nanjing. In 1937, when the Japanese poised to invade Nanjing, Minnie Vautrin, an American missionary and the dean of Jinling's Women's College, decides to remain at the school, convinced that her American citizenship will help her safeguard the welfare of the Chinese men and women who work there. She is painfully mistaken. I know, Lanny. I have a feeling that Margaret Atwood is telling us about something that's going to happen. She's been too on the nose lately. In the aftermath of the invasion, the school becomes a refugee camp for more than 10,000 homeless women and children, and Vautrin must struggle day after day to intercede on behalf of the hapless victims. Even when order and civility are eventually restored, Vautrin remains deeply embattled, and she is haunted by the lives she could not save. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. Okay. So, Ha Jin continues his scrupulous excavation of buried truths about Chinese life, writing with unnerving austerity. He resolutely addresses inexplicable terror and miraculous resistance. She said she never writes about anything that has not happened to someone somewhere at some time. She pulls from histories for stories of the future. I mean, yes, because those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And unfortunately, the reality is that the people in power in the regime down south actually studied history and are copying it. they're copying the playbooks of people from the past. Like they actually, it's not that they didn't learn from history, they studied it. And it's like, oh, they tried to do this bad thing, but here's where they went wrong. So we're going to do it this way so that we can get to that point of being that evil. But do it an easier way. Yeah, they totally know what they're doing. All right, another Margaret Atwood. Ooh, The Year of the Flood. Oh my goodness. Okay. This one is written in 2009. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13, 12. So not a first edition. That's where you look. So looks like somewhere. Where's that? 9. So printed and bound in Canada. I love this. Trust Margaret Atwood to put her finger on the pulse of the future, according to the Globe and Mail. Margaret Atwood's eagerly anticipated new novel is a testament to her remarkable literary mastery and imaginative power. Though set in the undefined near future, you know what I'm going to do? Just to make my life easier. There we go. The novel reflects a world we very much recognize and poignantly reminds us of our own enduring humanity. The times and species have been changing at a rapid rate, and the social compact is wearing thin as environmental stability. Oh dear. Adam I, the kindly leader of the Gods Gardeners, a religion devoted to the melding of science and religion, as well as the preservation of all plant and animal life, has long predicted a natural disaster that will alter Earth as we know it. Now it has occurred, obliterating most human life. 2 women have survived. Oh dear. Wren, a young trapeze dancer locked away in the high-end sex club where she works, dear God, and Toby, a God's gardener who has barricaded herself inside a luxurious spa where many of the treatments are edible. Have others survived? Wren's bio-artist friend Amanda, Zeb, her eco-fighter stepfather, her one-time lover Jimmy, or the murderous paintballers, not to mention the corpsey corpse, the shadowy, corrupt police force of the ruling powers. As Adam and his followers make their way through a changed world, Wren and Toby will each find their way out, leading to the novel's unexpected and affecting conclusion. By turns, dark, tender, violent, thoughtful, and uneasily hilarious, The Year of the Flood is Atwood at her most brilliant and inventive. Ooh. Yeah, I think it is the sequel. It says praise for Margaret Atwood's previous best-selling novel, so this is her novel afterwards, so it may be, or may be related in some way. Ooh, someone left. Oh, it's a from the London Review of Books, September 10th, 2009 is a review of this book in here. I love that. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. This is, ow. Why are these books so heavy? Okay, this one's not so heavy. Hang on. All right. Still a medium book. The Forgotten Waltz by Anne Enright, by the author of The Gathering, winner of the Man Booker Prize. Ooh, a Booker Prize winner. Ooh, let's see. Copyright 2011, not first edition or anything. There you go. Let's see if the cover is cool. No, boring. Okay. Let's do this one. What did I say? 2011. 2011. All right, let me give myself 1 minute to read this blurb. Try to get through as much of the blurb as possible. If it hadn't been for the child, then none of this might have happened, but the fact that a child was involved made everything that much harder to forgive. From the Man Booker Prize winning author of The Gathering comes a haunting novel of desire. The Forgotten Waltz tells the story of an affair, the bewildering speed and depth of attraction, the irreparable slip into longing that can change the course of our lives. In Terramure, a suburb of Dublin, in the winter of 2009, it has snowed. 34-year-old Gina Moynihan recalls the moment 3 years earlier when she fell for the love of her life, Shane Valley. As the city outside comes to a halt, Gina remembers the beginning of their affair, long afternoons made blank by bliss and denial. Now, as the silent streets and falling snow make the day luminous and full of possibility, Gina walks into town to collect Shane's fragile 12-year-old daughter, Evie. Aw. Yes, that is so true, Dragoda. You're totally right. All right, let's see what else is in here. Stone Mattress, 9 Tales by Margaret Atwood. Another Margaret Atwood one. Written in, survey says 2014. Not a first edition or anything. So let's see what this weight is. I think, yeah. All right. Giving myself 1 minute. 1 minute. Here we go. Welcome in, everybody. We are going through boxes of books from the celebrated author of Yada Yada Yada. These 9 dazzling tales speak to our times with deadly accuracy and imaginative verve. A recently widowed fantasy writer is guided through an ice storm by the voice of her late husband in Alphenland, the first of 3 stories about the romantic entanglements of a small group of writers and artists. Ooh. In The Freeze-Dried Groom, a man who bids on an auction storage space has a gruesome surprise. Ooh, I like that one. In Lusus Naturae, a woman born with a genuine genetic abnormality is mistaken for a vampire. Ooh. In Torching the Dusties, an elderly lady with Charles Bonnet syndrome attempts to cope with the little people she sees while a newly formed populist group prepares to burn down her retirement residence. In I Dream of Xenia with the Bright Red Teeth, we re-meet Tony, Cheris, and Roz from The Robber Bride, but years later as their nemesis recurs in an unexpected form. And in Stone Mattress, a long ago crime is avenged in the Arctic via a 1.9 billion year old stromatolite. I can say that. Stromatolite. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. The Falling Man by the author of Underworld and White Noise, Don DeLillo. Also a medium book. Okay. I like let's look. The jacket's lovely. I really like the jacket. Rod Williamson owned this at some point. Good for you, Rod. And it was published in 2007. This is the first Scribner hardcover edition, May 2007. No, this is the second. It was the first one was in May 2007. This is the second. It looks like. Text set in Electra. Ooh, okay. So, Gina, hi, Kailash, how are you? Welcome in Over the Moon Vintage Homestead. Welcome in, everybody. If you have any questions, let me know. We're just going through boxes of books, so I'm gonna try and speed things up a little bit. Let's do less than a minute. We're gonna move down to 45 seconds. Here we go. I'm gonna try and read this. All right, this one. There is September 11th, and then there are the days after, and finally the years. Falling Man is a magnificent, essential novel about the event that defines turn-of-the-century America. It begins in the smoke and ash of the burning towers and tracks the aftermath of this global tremor in the intimate lives of a few people. First, there is Keith, walking out of the rubble into a life that he'd always imagined belonged to everyone but him. Then Leanne, his estranged wife, memory haunted, trying to reconcile the 2 versions of the same shadowy man, and their small son Justin, standing at the window, scanning the sky for more planes. Oh God. Good morning, Deals and Style. I'm gonna cry. Um, there are lives choreographed by loss, grief, and an enormous force of history. Brave, brilliant. Oh, it's already over. I clearly. Hi, comms. I read an interesting book about the history of mazes. Needless to say, I got lost in it. Love you, comms. That is hilarious. Living the dream. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. We're going through books. There's another Margaret Atwood. We're going through books. Oh my god. Okay, this is not a medium. This is a large. Okay, so I've moved myself down to 45 seconds. This is a large. I'm not gonna do $8. I'm gonna do $2. Okay, Margaret Atwood. There she is. Look at her. The Robber Bride, a novel. This one was written in 1993. This one is not a first edition. Doesn't say when. She was born in 1939. She's getting up there. Oh my goodness. She's gonna hit 90 before we know it. Okay, so Margaret Atwood. Oh, wait, hang on. There we go. All right, this one, The Robber Bride. Margaret Atwood. Now, from the extraordinary imagination of Margaret Atwood comes her most intricate and subversive novel yet. Yeah, I read her too. I can't remember what I read. I also read her in university too. The Robber Bride, set mainly in Toronto in the present day, is the wise, unsettling, drastic story of three women, Roz, Cheris, and Tony, whose lives share a common wound. Xenia, a woman they first met as university students in the 60s. Xenia is smart and beautiful, by turns manipulative and vulnerable, the turbulent center of her own never-ending drama. I think we know people like that. My favorite, yes, Oryx and Crake is actually one of the first that I pulled out of this box. There's some really good novels in here, I must say, and you get them for only $2. That's like cheaper than most of the thrift stores. This one is a Century Foundation book, The Dust of Empire, The Race for Mastery in the Asian Heartland. Oh, this one's interesting. This one's history. I love history. When Charles de Gaulle learned that France's former colonies in Africa, somebody has underlined it, so they were clearly studying it. Let's see. Williamson owned it. 2003. This is a first edition. I haven't seen Butterfly yet. It might be in here. I don't know. To be honest, I picked this box up at an auction, and I've been driving around in my van for like months. Vintage by Carly says, crazy how we pay less for priceless vintage pieces than we pay for a plastic bowl or something at the dollar store. It's true. If this was at the dollar store, it'd be in the like $4, $5, right? Even a clearance book. Yeah, so this is a first edition of this book. Right there. You can see the numbers 1, 2, 3 to 10. And it says first edition. And this is for Shireen. So The Dust of Empire, when Charles de Gaulle, wait. I forgot to do this. I forgot that I'm supposed to be actually selling. You can't even get a chocolate bar for $2. That's right. I picked up this amazing book about black holes. It really sucks. Thanks, when Charles de Gaulle learned that France's former colonies in Africa had chosen independence, the great general shrugged dismissively. They are the dust of empire. But as Americans have learned, particles of dust from a remote and seemingly medieval country, don't say that, like Afghanistan, can, at great human and material cost, jam the gears of a superpower. In The Dust of Empire, Carl E. Meyer, the co-author of the acclaimed history Tournament of Shadows, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, Meyer provides fascinating detail about regions and peoples now of urgent concern to America. The 5 Central Asian republics, the Caspian and the Caucasus, Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan, and long dominant Russia. Russia. You're scared. Think of it like food. You don't count up how much food you have. Books are like food, as far as I'm concerned. books feed us. They feed us better than food because they feed our minds. When I was a kid, my mother would take me to the she would take me to the library when they had a big book sale, and I would just carry I would buy like a whole pile. I got in the newspaper for it because I was literally lining up with books that were over, like I had to look around the pile of books that I had in my arms because yeah, I loved books of all kinds. I would pick up anything that looked interesting. Birds of America stories. These are stories of Birds of America. I don't know how that works. I don't know what that means. A nest of tales. Okay, hang on. So this is Birds of America by Lori Moore. She's the author of this story collection, Self Help, Like Life, and Birds of America, and the novel Who Will Run the Frog Hospital? Okay, I don't know. Who will run the Frog Hospital? 1998, obviously not a first edition because it's a paperback writer. All right, let's see. Birds of America. This is America. Okay. The nest of tales that captures the eternal hummingbird flutter of the human heart. A volume in which everything comes together. The authors Mordaunt Dorothy Parker Witt, the Joycean epiphanies, the Flannery O'Connor-esque moments of clarity and grace, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I love that. These news stories sparkle. They are keenly and poignantly mindful of the idioms, banalities, and canards of contemporary American society, and they hum with Moore's earmarked droll and incisive banter. Her astonishing ability to render the intricacy of character in a few sharply focused details. Well, when you write book reviews for newspapers, you have to use all your big words. Small words will not do. Oh, Michael Ondaatje. Did I say it right? I probably didn't. The English Patient. The English Patient. There does have somebody's name in it. Ron, please return. Let's see if this 4th reprint. 4th reprint. I know the Comms collections of the puns that Cons comes up with. I was working yesterday at the library, had a nasty slip and fall. You've got to be careful in the non-friction section. I love you, Comms. So this is published in 1992. 4th reprint, November 1992. This is The English Patient. I mean, it became a movie, didn't it? So, I mean, it doesn't really need much introduction, but I'm going to move myself down to 30 seconds. I bet you're an awesome stand-up comedian. Michael Ondaatje's fiction has been met with highest praise for its startling narrative inventiveness, its richness of imaginary and imagery, the spellbinding quality of its language. During the final moments of the Second World War, in a deserted Italian villa, 4 people come together. A young nurse whose life is focused on her last remaining patient, an enigmatic thief whose skills have made him one of the war's heroes, as well as one of its casualties. Okay. I think most of you like. Do most of you like fiction or nonfiction? Oh, there's another Margaret Atwood. 2 Margaret Atwoods coming up. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got some smalls here. Nonfiction for you. I like nonfiction too. I've always been partial to nonfiction, but I did read a lot of fiction as a child in my youth. So I don't know what's up with the cover. I don't know if that's on purpose or what. It's kind of cool though. Ian McEwan, Enduring Love. And it says, science, love, and obsession collide in this beautifully crafted story, a page-turner blessed with the psychological richness of the finest literary novel. Also owned by Williamson. I have a feeling this was from one Person's auction. First vintage Canada edition, 1998, printed in Canada. It does look like somebody's written all over it, but I think that's meant to look like it's meant to look like that. Okay. This is a small book, so it will go in small, and we're gonna run this for 20. I'm gonna give myself 20 seconds now. Okay. Utterly thrilling. All I can do is praise the clarity and intelligence of the writing and say that enduring love is as riveting as the finish as it at the finish as it is at the start. Did you have do you have the one about history of Mount Everest climbers? It's a real cliffhanger. It is a real cliffhanger. Okay, Margaret Atwood, Good Bones by Margaret Atwood. This was published in first paperback edition, 1993. Ooh. Second chapter. The Little Red Hen Tells All. Okay, we got to read the second chapter. Page 11. All right. Or second, is it a bunch of stories? Pass over the threshold of these stories into sharply lit worlds. Okay, so The Little Red Hen Tells All. I'm going to read this. I'm going to give myself time. I'm going to read this because it's The Little Red Hen, so I got to. All right, here we go. The Little Red Hen Tells All. Everybody wants in on it. Everyone. Not just the cat, the pig, and the dog. The horse, too. The cow. The rhinoceros. The orangutan. The horned toad. The wombat. The duck-billed platypus. You name it. There's no peace anymore, and all because of that goddamn loaf of bread. It's not easy being a hen. It's true. It isn't easy being a hen. You know my story. Probably you had it told to you as a shining example of how you yourself ought to behave. Sobriety and elbow grease. Do it yourself. Then invest your capital. Then collect. I'm supposed to be an illustration of that. Don't make me laugh. I found the grain of wheat. True. So what? There are lots of grains of wheat lying around. Keep your eyes to the grindstone, and you could find a grain of wheat too. I saw one and picked it up. Nothing wrong with that. Finders keepers. A grain of wheat saved is a grain of wheat earned. Opportunity is bald behind. Who will help me plant this grain of wheat? I said. Who? I felt like a goddamn owl. Not me, replied. Then I'll do it myself, I said, as the nun quipped to the vibrator. Nobody was listening, of course. They'd all gone to the beach. Don't think it didn't hurt, all that rejection, brooding in my nest of straw. I cried little red hen tears, tears of chicken blood. You know what that looks like. You've eaten enough of it. Makes good gravy. So, what were my options? I could have eaten that grain of wheat right away. Done myself a nutritional favor, but instead I planted it, watered it, stood guard over it night and day with my little feathered body. So it grew. Why not? It made more grains of wheat, so I planted those. So I watered those. So I ground them into flour. So I finally got enough for a loaf of bread, so I baked it. You've seen the pictures. Me in my little red hen apron, holding the loaf with its plume of aroma in between the tips of my wings, smiling away. I smile in all the pictures as much as you can smile with a beak. Whatever they said, not me, I smiled. I never lost my temper. Who will help me eat this loaf of bread? I said. I will, said the cat, the dog, and the pig. I will, said the antelope. I will, said the yak. I will, said the five-lined skink. I will, said the public louse. Oh, no, sorry, pubic louse. I will, said the pubic louse. They meant it too. They held out their paws, hooves, tongues, claws, mandibles, and prehensile tails. They drooled at me with their eyes. They whined. They shoved petitions through my mail slot. They became depressed. They accused me of selfishness. They developed symptoms. They threatened suicide. They said it was my fault for having a loaf of bread when they had none. Every single one of them, it seemed, needed that goddamn loaf of bread more than I did. You can bake more, they said. Okay, it goes on. Margaret Atwood. Oh my God. I love her sense of humor. Oh my goodness. The Little Red Hen. Retelling of the Little Red Hen story. The myth of Penelope and Odysseus. The Penelopiad. I love this. Margaret Atwood rewriting. This is the vintage Canada edition 2006. Printed and bound in Canada. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Miss, this one I will not do for that long. There we go. All right. Myths are universal and timeless stories that reflect and shape our lives. They mirror our desires, our fears, our longings, and provide narratives that attempt to help us make sense of the world. The Myths series brings together some of the finest writers of our time to provide a contemporary take on our most enduring stories. So other authors in this series, yada, yada, yada. So this is her take on Penelope and Odysseus. Okay, let's see what else we have in here. We have another copy of The English Patient, as well as In the Skin of a Lion from Michael Ondaatje. Yeah, definitely someone's favorite author. This person, whoever had this collection of books, definitely had a Canadian twist to their enjoyment of books. Okay, so the first one we have is In the Skin of a Lion by Michael Ondaatje. Okay, I'm not saying that right. Is a love story and an irresistible mystery set in turbulent, muscular new world of Toronto in the 20s and 30s. That one's pretty cool. He intertwines adventure, romance, and history, real and invented, enmeshing us in the lives of the immigrants who built the city. I love that. And then this is The English Patient. This is a paperback edition of it. We already saw the other one that was hardcover. 1993. This is a Canadian edition. We'll run that for just 10 seconds. The English Patient, which was made into a movie. And this is a like super award-winning novel. And look, it has pages inside with words. Michelle, good morning. How are you? Oh my gosh, it just goes on in here. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do to move us faster. I'm going to grab books in different weight categories. And I think, yeah. All right. I think we're going into medium now. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go into medium. I'm going to give you like choice of 2 on choice just to make life easier. Give myself 20 seconds. So on choice, you have a choice of Anna Michaels, The Winter's Vault, or Warlight by Michael Ondaatje. I'm probably not saying that right. Michael O. So your choice. One of these 3. You have 5 favorite authors. I have my favorite used to be Jack Higgins. I used to read Jack Higgins nonstop. The Eagle Has Landed novels. I don't know. It's kind of Pulp Fiction-y in a way. Okay, so their choice here is Anil's Ghost by Michael Ondaatje or Silent House by Orhan Pamuk. So your choice between these 2 on choice, running now. Michael Ondaatje and Anil's Ghost, winner of the Giller Prize, Governor General's Award, and the Prix Médicis. April's Ghost transports us to Sri Lanka. And then this one is in a crumbling mansion in a gentrified former fishing village on the Turkish coast. The widow Fatima awaits the annual visit of her grandchildren. All right. And next, let's see what we got next. Hi, Sasu. Doing books today. Tonight will be ephemera. How are you doing, Sasu? All right. So, Omnivore's Dilemma, The Natural History of 4 Meals. That's interesting. Today, buffeted by one food fad after another, America is suffering from what can only be described as a national eating disorder. Will it be fast food tonight or something organic? So this is actually a brilliant, eye-opening account of how we produce, market, and agonize over what we eat. I'm just going to run this on its own. Of what we eat. If you ever thought what's for dinner was a simple question, you'll change your mind after reading Poland's searing indictment of today's food industry. Ooh. The Washington Post said, an eater's manifesto, cause it's just, his thinking is clear and his writing is compelling. Be careful of your dinner. The Roadrunner ornament only had, oh no! There were two when I put it in. Dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, definitely ask for a refund. I'm sorry. I remember that it had two. Did it get caught up in the wrap maybe? I wonder. I haven't seen the leg, so I'm sorry. Definitely ask for a refund, Sasu. I will look and see, but I haven't seen it because I have like one table where I do all my shipping, so it would end up there on the table. Yeah, it might have gotten caught up in, because you know me and the overwrapping situation. I do like to wrap a lot. So I'm sorry, Sasu. That's so sad because it was so awesome. I love that little ornament. So yeah, but yeah, definitely ask for a refund, hun. If you go to your activity and orders, and then you'll have to figure out which one it is. It'll be like a lightweight one. But yeah, definitely I would approve that refund request. I'm sorry. Doesn't happen very often to me. So it looks like there's like water damage on these few pages. So I'm just going to run this for a doll hair. This is Michael Cunningham, The Hours, winners of a Pulitzer Prize. Okay, perfect. Yeah. I'm sorry. We're going to do this for $1. And I'm just going to run this for 10 seconds. It is called The Early Praise for the Hours. This book more than fulfills the promise of Cunningham's 1990 debut, while showing that sweep does not necessarily require the sprawl of his second book. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Oops, turn this on. We're going to go faster because I'm going to go through this box so we can get to the nonfiction stuff that's probably in another box. All right, these are both medium. There's a choice. You have Eric Fromm, The Heart of Man. It's Genius for Good and Evil, Religious Perspectives. In this companion volume to his continuing bestseller, Fromm examines those forces in man which show that love of death is pathological while love of life is normal. Oh my goodness. Oh, and there's a page to read. Free will versus, I can't read what that person said. Page 123. These considerations lead us to the problem of man's freedom. Is man free to choose the good at any given moment, or has he no such freedom of choice because he is determined by forces inside and outside himself? Oh, that's a good question. Excellent question. I do not know the answer. This is 1964. This was printed in 1964. So that's choice number 1. Or choice number 2 is Cosmopolis. Cosmopolis by Don DeLillo. We saw another article. It's an April date in the year 2000. This was printed in, oh my gosh, there's so many pages. Where is the frontispiece? There it is. 2003. Not a first edition or anything. And it is, an era is about to end, those booming times of market optimism when the culture, boiled with money and corporations, seemed more vital and influential than governments. Guess what, Dawn? They still are. Okay. Gonna run now for $2. Your choice. The Heart of Man by Eric Fromm, written in 1964. Religious Perspectives, and then or Cosmopolis by Don DeLillo. All right. What's next in here? This feels light. Oh, it's not enough light. Okay, so your choice this time. We have Ian McEwan on Chesil Beach. Ian McEwan on Chesil Beach, and this was written in, published by Alfred, 2007, first edition. What does the cover look like? Nope, nothing exciting. Okay. So this one is On Chesil Beach, a novel by the author of Atonement, a short novel of remarkable depth and poignancy by a writer at the height of his powers. It is July 1962. Edward and Florence, young innocents married that morning, arrive at a hotel on the Dorset coast, etc. All right. I'm just going to run that for 10 seconds. All right. And then we have Galore by Michael Crummy. Michael Crummy. Sprawling and intimate, fantastical and true, Galore is a novel about the power of stories to shape and sustain us. It is Michael Crummy's most ambitious and accomplished work to date. An intricate family saga and a love story spanning 2 centuries. Ooh, I like these kind. 2009. There's even a family tree so you can keep up with it. Okay. Going to run that one now. Galore by Michael Crummy is running now. Crummy is a poet and a storyteller, and he has an extraordinary way of pinning down even a squirming render and charming them into submission. Squirming render and charming them into submission. Oh, Infidel. There's even a newspaper article about her. This one is printed in 2007, not a first edition, more like the 16th edition, 17th edition, it looks like. Good morning, Donna. Infidel by Ayaan Hirsi Ali. So she is a profoundly affecting memoir of the internationally renowned author of The Caged Virgin. She tells her astonishing life story from her traditional Muslim childhood in Somalia, Saudi Arabia, and Kenya to her intellectual awakening and activism in the Netherlands, and her current life under armed guard in the West. If I remember correctly, she is the one who campaigned against women being the female version of circumcision, which actually renders them incapable of certain intimate opportunities. I'll call it that. Good morning, Melody. How are you? What else do we have here? Eric Fromm, The Forgotten Language. Oh, didn't we have this in a... This feels familiar. Okay. Eric Fromm, it doesn't have its dust jacket. This one's an introduction to the understanding of dreams, fairy tales, and myths. Oh, he wrote the other book. Copyright 1951. This printing was 1965. Do you know Did you know Tori Amos' Cornflake Girl is about gender? Yeah, I did not know that. I have not kept up with it, with Tori Amos, but that's interesting. 1965. So printed in 1965, written in 1951. This is, oh, and there's a bookmark here. I love this bookmark, actually. You have entered a bookstore. Our shelves are alive with thoughts and packed with ideas from this place. Words fly forth to entertain, to inspire, to educate, to move, perhaps to change your life or even to alter the course of history. You've trod sacred ground. You have entered a bookstore. Hamilton, Ontario. I love that. Okay, so this is another book by Eric Fromm, The Forgotten Language, An Introduction to the Understanding of Dreams, Fairy Tales, and Myths. This actually sounds really cool. This book sounds really cool. All right, running now. No dust jacket. I know the bookmark is so cool. It comes with it, unless it doesn't sell. And then I will put it aside because it's a very cool bookmark. I actually really like it. All right, bookmark going aside. Eric is going there beside me. Oh, what else do we have in here? Ooh, Gilead. That one's okay. And this one is just over the line. Okay. Mordecai Richler's won the Giller Prize. Barney's version. There he is, Mordecai in all his glory. This does have his Williamson on it. 1997. No, it looks like it's third edition, probably. Third printing, depending on how you want to say it. There is some, like, this person did write in the books. The hilarious, devious, and touching story of an unruly life, this wonderful new novel by author of Yada Yada is a virtuoso performance, perfectly poised between laughter and tears. All right. You live in Hamilton? Oh, that's so cool. I like Hamilton. It's really pretty in spots. And then it's, not so pretty in other spots. But I dated a guy from Hamilton. He was younger than me. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Not for morning talk. The God of Small Things, a novel by Arundhati Roy. Published in 1997. This one is first Canadian edition. Book designed by Victoria Wong. Let's see if the outside. No, actually, I want to show you the inside. The inside matches the dust jacket, which I love. All right, so this is the year is 1969 in the state of Kerala, in the southernmost tip of India. A sky blue Plymouth with chrome tail fins is stranded on the highway amid a Marxist workers' demonstration. Inside the car sit two egg twins, Rahil and Estapan, and so begins their tale. Okie dokie. Running now for 10 seconds. The God of Small Things, a novel by Arundhati Roy. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a fabulous day. We're going through a box of books I got at auction. This one is obviously someone's collection of amazing, mostly fiction novels. There's some notes in the front here. This is Gilead in 2004, first Canadian edition. In 1956, towards the end of Reverend John Ames' life, he begins a letter to his young son, an account of himself and his forebears. Ames is the son of an Iowa preacher and the grandson of a minister who, as a young man in Maine, saw a vision of Christ bound in chains and came west to Kansas to fight for abolition. Oh, different kind of Gilead, it sounds like. All right, running now. Gilead is a beautiful work, demanding, grave, and lucid. Robinson's words have a spiritual force that's very rare in contemporary fiction. All right. Almost done. There's one more book in this box. And that is Martin Sloan, a novel by Michael Redhill, finalist for the 2001 Giller Prize. So this is the paperback edition, published in Anchor paperback. Does it say when this one was? 2001. All right. So Martin Sloan, a novel by Michael Redhill. My first novel seems destined to become a small classic, one of those books handed from friend to friend, with this luminous, wonderful book. Ooh, it's luminous. Okay, that box is empty. I now can... Someone at some point is probably going to get their stuff in this box, because I will recycle that box. Okay, be right back. Just have to put the box away. While I'm doing this, While I'm putting this box away, can you pick from column 1, column 2, or column 3? Let me know which column I should do first. Please. Thank you. Column, what's the verdict? 3. Okay, 3 it is. Like, oh, it's so heavy. It's so heavy. All right, here we go. Box from number 3. Column 3 has only 2 boxes. So this is the first of 2. All right, this is over 2 pounds, so this is a large, so pin that. Everything's running for $2 today, so just ignore that $8 thing. 2, and confirm. Okay, there you go. Now it's $2. Okay, the 900 Days, the Siege of Leningrad. It was 16 pages of black and white photographs. So there's a map. There he is, this guy, Harrison E. Salisbury. And this was published in, shoot, sorry, I can't get the pages to cooperate. 1969. 1969. Okay, published in 1969. The 900 Days of the Siege of Leningrad. So this is his first assignment. He was actually assigned to Russia as head of the United Press Bureau in Moscow in 1944. As a result of his reports in the 50s and 60s, he was barred from Russia for 5 years and was not allowed to revisit the country until 1959. At that time, he stayed for nearly 6 months, traveling thousands of miles within the Soviet Union. Oh, so he really knows his Russia. Okay, we're gonna run that for if you want to learn about the Siege of Leningrad, 900 Days of the Siege of Leningrad. That is running now. Definitely an interesting read. Okay, next up. Ooh, it's a book in a box. I like books in boxes. Retreat from Moscow, Memoirs of Sergeant Borgone. Ooh, oh my gosh, the cover is beautiful. Okay, hang on. Let's double check the weight. Yeah, we're in medium. So let me just pin that. There it is. I don't know. I can see into the box, and I think this is it for Russia. There's a map. The Empire of Napoleon in 1812. The text of the Memoirs of Sergeant Burgoyne is taken from translation by J.W. Fortescue, first published in 1926. Certain textual revisions have been undertaken by Anne Page, involving the anglicizing of place names and the correction of inaccuracies in the original. So this is the Folio Society Limited, 1985. There he is. So he wrote, this is the memoirs between 1812 and 1813 of a French, what was he? Sergeant, of a French sergeant who had to, in Napoleon's army, who had to retreat from Moscow. 1985. So, and there's actually illustrations inside, including Napoleon watching the burning of Moscow from the Kremlin, a wood engraving, right? Page 40. Now I want to look. Oh, look. So this is a French history, and I love the cover. The cover I am in love with. So this is the memoirs of a sergeant in Napoleon's army retreating from Moscow between 1812 and 1813. I mean, it wasn't like you could just, fly out. Fly out your troops. That was impossible. Oh, the principles and practice of medicine. This is really heavy. Yep. Okay. This is 3.5 pounds, so it's got to go in extra large. Let me just quickly edit. We're going to mark it down to 10, so you can see that it's 10. Confirm. Okay. All right, so this is edited by Sir Stanley Davidson. This is the 7th edition. Let's see what year the 7th edition was. There's the cover without the jacket. Ooh, very cool. If you're squeamish, look away for a minute because this is a medical text. 1965. Principles and Practice of Medicine from 1965. Oh, this is very cool. Very cool, but very heavy. Running now. Principles and Practice of Medicine from 1965, 7th edition. Not a lot of illustrations inside. Okay, down you go. What's next? Oh, another. Oh, this one. I love this one. This is the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. And this is absolutely stunning. So it look at that. This is printed by Random House. But look how gorgeous this entire book. This entire book is that gorgeous inside. This one's not going to run for $2. Sarsaparilla, hello, how are you? I just saw your name pop up. Copyright 1947 by Random House, published simultaneously in Canada by Random House of Canada. So this is the Random House of Canada edition. It does have its cover. It is like stunning. Is it not like stunning? This is stunning. Okay, I'm going to run this for 4 instead of 2. Just because it is an amazing book. The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, and like this is basically English translation of poetry. Beautiful poetry. All right, so like 32. There was a door to which I found no key. There was a veil past which I could not see. Some little talk a while of me and thee there seemed, and then no more of thee and me. Then to the ruling heaven itself I cried, asking what lamp had destiny to guide her little children stumbling in the dark, and a blind understanding, heaven replied. Then to this earthen bowl did I adjourn, my lip the secret well of life to learn, and lip to lip it murmured, while you live, drink, for once dead you never shall return. It's so cool. It's so cool. Let's see what else is in here. It goes over here. The Men Who Built the Transcontinental Railroad, 1863 to 1869, by Stephen Ambrose. Nothing like it in the world. Let me just double check the weight. We're good. Okay. And there are some pictures inside. Now, this would be the U.S. Transcontinental Railroad, not the Canadian Transcontinental Railroad. Running that. Nothing like it in the world. The Men Who Built the Transcontinental Railroad, 1863 to 1869. Which was just at the tail end of the Civil War. Which is fascinating. The first picture, I think, in here. Yep, Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln and Dodge at the time of their first conversation in 1859. Lincoln was a politician and a railroad lawyer running for president. All right. Official secrets. Official secrets, what the Nazis planned, what the British and Americans knew. This is from first edition, 1998. Paperback edition. Just double check the weight. Yep, So this is Official Secrets, what the and it says, when did Great Britain and the United States learn of the monstrous events that we today call the Holocaust? When and how did Nazi leaders plan to destroy the Jewish people? And what were the attitudes and participation of ordinary Germans in those activities? I've brought these three controversial issues together because newly available documents, when used in conjunction with those already known, contain important evidence about all three. This book is a broad effort to grasp the relationship between Nazi decisions, German behavior, and Western responses. Each facet casts light on the others in both obvious and unexpected ways. Almost any study of this kind carries moral implications. Conviction and passion are introduced into even highly technical analysis. I want to read that. I'm curious now. Okay. All right. Let me see. What is this? What is this? Ooh, it's an old dictionary. The Winston Dictionary for Canadian Schools. Let's see that there's some writing in it. This is from 1958 it's got 1100 pictorial illustrations. So it's one of those awesome dictionaries with the illustrations in between. Look at that. There's a chicken. Okay, double check the weight. All right, I'm not going to run this one for 2. This one's way too cool. It's going to run for 4, which is still a bargain. The Winston Dictionary for Schools, 1958, with all these cool illustrations inside. Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay. All right. Put that one in there. Next. Ooh, lightweight. The Journals of Susan Moodie, poems by Margaret Atwood. Another Margaret Atwood. This one, if I remember correctly, yes. The pages are coming out. So I'm going to run this for $1 because the pages are coming out, but it looks like they're all still there, although I have not counted. So this is the Journals of Susanna Moodie, who was a pioneer woman up in my area right here, in the Rice Lake area. And this is her, we're going to run this for just $1. But this is Margaret Atwood writing poems. There's a journal of Susanna Moodie that you can buy and read, and this is poems about her journal. So Margaret Atwood studied history, read the journal, and then wrote her own poems about Susanna Moodie. Okay. Ooh. Rachel Vincent, My Soul to Keep. Soul Screamers? Soul Screamers? What the heck? Soul Screamers. Oh my goodness. These are published by Harlequin Teen. Okay. So this is Harlequin Teen novel. When Kaylee Kavanaugh screams, someone dies, and Kaylee is about to scream her head off. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Kaylee has one addiction, her very hot, very popular boyfriend, Nash. All right. A banshee like Kaylee, Nash understands her like no one else. Nothing can come between them until something does. Demon breath. No, not the toothpaste challenge kind, the netherworld kind, the kind that really can kill you. Somehow, the super addictive substance has made its way to the human world, but how? Oh my goodness. All right. Teen romance fiction, My Soul to Keep, part of the Soul Screamers series that I had no idea there was such a thing for Harlequin Teen. Sounds like something you would have read it as a teen. Like she's a banshee, but then there's demon breath. All the kids are doing it. All the kids are doing demon breath, you know. Oh, there's my. Oh, how many of these are there? We have. No, sadly, there's only 2. There's My Soul to Take, or check this one out, Vampirates, Demons of the Ocean. This one is published, oh my gosh. Twins Connor and Grace never dreamed that there was any truth to the vampirates' shanty their father sang to them before he died. But that was before the two were shipwrecked and separated from each other. Oh my gosh. Okay, running Vampirates now. Vampirates. Look at that. Is there any illustrations inside? That'd be so. There are no illustrations. No. Well, there are Vampirates. Early 2000s, teens were reading about vampires, werewolves, and other parents. Yes. Oh, the delightful life of I had a teen during that time. All right, gonna run this one for a dull hair, my soul to take. And if you want the other one, my soul to keep, I can run that one too for $1. In the Soul Screamers series. What else? Oh, okay. Back to something. 13 famous poems by Stevenson. Annotated by O.A. Stevenson this is Canadian. He was the professor of English at the Ontario Agricultural College, which is now the University of Guelph. 1923. 13 famous poems. The Ancient Mariner, Enoch Arden, The Prisoner of Chillon, Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard. There's Longfellow, Wordsworth, Browning, Cowper, of course, another Longfellow, Byron, Ayton, and Macaulay. Okay, so this one will go here, and we'll run that now. 13 famous poems. Oh, pain. 13 famous poems is running now. It's probably time to take some more pills, but we will continue. We will continue. I gotta do at least a few of these boxes. Okay. Is my signal okay? Is my signal all right? Or am I having issues with my signal? Let me know if there's any issues with my signal. Okay. Thank you, Jagoda. Let's see. Wait. Maybe I do have all three. I do have all three. Oh, whatever. Okay. The Dog Rules, a kid's book about the dog. The Dog Rules. Meet Monty. He's an energetic pup who gets into trouble. It's his full-time job. All right, I'm going to run this for just $1 because it's a kid's book and it's The Dog Rules. So kids book, Scholastic kids book, cute little illustrations. It's very cute, actually. The Dog Rules. Towards the Understanding of Youth. This is 1937, republished in 1949. This is for, let me see. This is the Leadership Training Committee, the Religious Education Council of Canada wrote this. This is to understand the psychology of youth. Towards an Understanding of Youth, running that now for $2 for 10 seconds. Once we have next week, the flooring guy's coming, so I'm hoping that by the end of this month, I will have the flooring in and we'll have the baseboards down and we'll paint it and then the baseboards down. And then we can put everything back where it was. What my plan is for the basement is I'm going to do a whole section that is books and organize them by category. So there will actually be a library you can call out from, and that everything will be listed on Whatnot, all my good favorite books. And then we'll still be doing unboxing. This one is Happiness is a Choice by Barry Neil Kaufman. The Archie Comics Book 2, The Best of Archie. So yeah, so that is my plan, so that I will have, it'll be impossible for me to put all the books out, but I will pick my favorites and the ones that are higher value. Ooh, look what happened to Archie. Poor Archie. Okay, I'll run this for $1 in case anybody wants it for ephemera since it's been damaged. And running now. All right, thank you for looking at Archie. Let's see what else we have. Every Last Breath, The Dark Elements, Jennifer L. Armentrout. Some loves will last till your dying breath. Oh my goodness. Okay, if you say so. $1 running now. Every Last Breath by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Okay. There. What else do we have here? Mary Stuart, The Last Enchantment. A triumphant new novel of Merlin and King Arthur by the author of The Crystal Cave and the Hollow Hills. Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, that was that watch book, that was Dad's. So, because Dad used to work on watches every once in a while, but he didn't like to because, you know, it's fiddly. Way too fiddly for him. This is printed in 1980. And this is Mary Stuart, The Last Enchantment. So this is a in the style of Merlin. Oh, does it? That is so cool. I love that. The Last Enchantment. Don't know anything about it. Mary Stuart, third magnificent and haunting novel of Dark Age Britain. Ooh. Okay, what else do we have here? We've got Dark Predator by Christian Feehan. As the startling novel yet her must-read series, and as an immortal male comes to the end of a long and violent journey to reach a far more dangerous and inescapable threat. Oh dear. Oh dear. All right. $1 running now. I think I might just do a $1 show, but I want to organize these at some point. All right. Thank you for looking at that one. Then we have Angel of Mercy by Heather Graham. When Wendy Hawk found Brad McKenna wounded and unconscious, she acted instinctively to save him, but Brad was no victim of a random accident. He was a DEA agent running from deadly enemies. Wendy quickly sensed his desperation and his desire. And in the anonymity of darkness and unanswered questions, this driven man and his angel of mercy were drawn together because now the killers wanted both of them dead. Oh no, what's going to happen next? Are they going to survive? Are they going to fall in love? Are they going to get married and have children and have a little house by the lake and you know, a dog and 2 cats? How am I going to know? Someone's going to have to read this and tell me what happens. Okay. What do we have next? Ooh, The Dark Sword Trilogy, Volume 3, Triumph of the Dark Sword. Ooh, there's like some sort of map. The Field of Glory. This was owned by Jay Wigley. Good job, Jay Wigley. I love that name. 1988. 1988, The Dark Sword Trilogy. This is number 3 in the Dark Sword Trilogy. If you already have 1 and 2, this is The Triumph of the Dark Sword. These are the type of books that I will scan, and I will see if that I will scan later and see if they have any value online. If they don't, they get donated. Okay, next up we have City of Bones by Cassandra Clark. The Immortal Instruments. This is book 1 in the Mortal Instrument series. Is a story world that I love to live in, beautiful, according to Stephanie Miller, the author of Twilight. So there's a whole series of this. This is in the Shadowhunters. This is the Shadowhunters series, which now is a television show. This is City of Bones, or should we call it TV? You love these as a teen. Can we call it TV if it streams? Do you still call it television? Or do we just call it like a series? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Okay, all right. Moving away from that. Oops. All right, this is Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. This is a large. There he is, Steve Jobs, and this was published in, survey says, it's probably not a first edition or anything. Not a first edition, 2011. Okay, so Steve Jobs, biography of Steve Jobs is going to run now for a dull hair. I'm not keeping it I'm going to donate it if it doesn't sell. Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. Kind of looks, he looks kind of, doesn't he kind of look creepy? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, 2 more books in this box, and then we can move on to other things. All right, this is medium. Let me just pin medium. Welcome in, everybody. We're unboxing. So we got 2 more books, and then we're going to grab another box to go through. This is 1992, Buffalo Fine Arts Academy. This is a Susan Rothenberg art book from 1992. Susan Rothenberg art. Okay, I could do that. I could draw a horse kind of like that. I feel like, are these supposed to be cave pictures? Or what? Wow. Okay, supposedly she's a famous artist for doing this. Alright, if you say so. Let's run that for $1. Susan Rothenberg art. Such as it is. Alright, you're definitely getting donated. And then, oh my goodness, it's so heavy. This has to go in, yeah, it's definitely modern, or I don't know. It's art. It's subjective. Art is subjective. This is favorite brand name recipe cookbook. So it's all the brand names and their recipes. So you can see there's over 2,000 recipes from all these different brands. This was 1982. This was a library discard from the Etobicoke Public Library, New Toronto. Yeah, so this is a library discard. Favorite brand name recipe cookbook, and we're going to run that now for just $2. If it doesn't sell, it's going to go in my booth or in my collection. I don't know. I might keep it in my collection if it doesn't sell. Because, like, I bet you all of these recipes are amazing. Okay, that box is done. We did another box. So, should we grab something from column 1, column 2, or the last box from column 3? What is your choice? Let me know, and that is what we will do. And thanks for hanging out with me while we look through all these books, because there's a lot of books to look through. So I appreciate your patience while I'm doing this. I got 2 1s and 1 2, so 1 wins. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, jeepers creepers. Jeepers creepers. Where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers creepers. Hang on. There's books on the floor. Where'd you get those eyes? Okay. Da, 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 da. We got Edna Stabler, Pies and Tarts with Schmeck's Appeal. We will run that for just $1. These pie recipes in here are amazeballs, and you can see that someone actually used. This is probably their favorite page. I actually feel that. Oh, this was raspberry custard pie. Oh, I kind of like this, and prune custard pie. All right, maybe not so much that one. So this is basically a custard pie recipe in this section, which is clearly a favorite. This is Pies and Tarts with Schmeck's Appeal. It's Schmecksy. You know what? I used to eat prunes when I was a kid, and they actually tasted not so bad. This is Robin Hood No Sift Baking. Normally I'd put this in ephemera, but here we are. This is pin, and we're going to run that for $2. Robin Hood No Sift Baking recipe book from, oh gosh, when is this? It's fairly old. Look at the front here. All right, saving that. Next, we have Crazy Commercials by Mort and Kathy Hall. This is also lightweight, so we'll run that one now. Do these words galvanize you into action to get as far away from your TV set as you can? Well, there are 12 messages, 12 little fables from TV land that won't send you anywhere except into explosions of laughter and shock of recognition. Crazy commercials. Okay. Next up, we have Come Home. Which only 2 roads. And then it says printed in Hong Kong by Empire Printing Company, Kings Road, 2nd floor, Hong Kong. Interesting. Ooh! Sins be blotted out. I, even I, am he that blotteth out thy transgressions for my own sake. Isaiah 43:25. Doing your best cannot blot out sins. Soap and water cannot cleanse sins. Good works cannot take away sins. Charity cannot cancel sins. Tears cannot wash away sins. Prayers cannot cover sins. Baptism cannot cleanse sins. The law can never forgive sins, but blood can. The precious blood of Christ can blot out, cleanse, take away, cancel, wash away, cover, cause to be forgiven all sin. Doesn't this sound like one of those old ads for, like, take this for colic and, asthma and this and that? The blood of Jesus Christ. Okay. This book can be obtained by the Christian Book Room in Kowloon, Hong Kong. And when were you published? These are all gospel stories. They seem to be, it's interesting. This is very interesting. Okay, so this is a gospel book from I don't know when. Oh, dear me. A prayer card just fell out. Oh dear. Are there other ones? Oh yeah, Timeless Treasures, how are you? Is it safe? Thou shalt not. Oh my goodness. Look at this hellfire. And oh God. That must have been once. If I die tonight, I will go to. Oh my Lord. This is a very happy book. My goodness. Scaring you into Jesus doesn't seem like the right thing to do. But hey, that's just me. I just don't think it works. I guess it works for some. Okay. The field guide, Frostbite Falls. We saw this before. Running again. Field guide to Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's actually the television series, the cartoon series. If you like Rocky and Bullwinkle. All right. Next up we have Canadian Country Store Collectibles. The Charlton Standard Catalog of Canadian Country Store Collectibles. I think we saw this before in one of my box unopenings, but not in the book show. All right, Country Store Collectibles. This will be a medium. We will run that one now. If you collect like old tins and advertising wear, it's all old signs. It's all gonna be in here, so you can find out the history. Okay, next. What's in a name? The story behind Saskatchewan place names. And that for 10 seconds. This is at the top of the book, so I probably threw this on the top of the book. Yeah, it was in one of the unboxings, these ones, because I just got it. But then I threw it into the box of books. Same with this one, the Labor Gazette from November 1944. It explained this is from the Labor Department in Canada during the Second World War, and explains the labor practices and what was happening in Canada's labor force during the war, especially the production of munitions are mentioned in there. That needs to go over here. What else is in here? Ruth Bader Ginsburg, A Life. Ooh, this one's cool. Love RBG. Okay, this is a RBG. This is a book about RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It is large and in charge, and that is running now. A biography of Ruth Bader Ginsburg is running now. National bestseller by Jane Sharon DeHart. Okay, next. That is falling apart, so we'll skip that one. What is this? This box is a real mishmash. Imperial Encyclopedic Dictionary, Volume X. It is UNC to ZYT. Oh my gosh, inside is amazing. Look at that. Rabbit, how are you? Oops, wait. What's this? Oh, okay. Encyclopedic Dictionary. Obviously, it's not the whole dictionary. This was published in, this one's kind of falling apart, so it'd probably be good for ephemera. 1899, copyright 1899 by Dictionary Encyclopedia Company. 1899, and this is going to be large, I think. Let me just double check. No, I'm wrong. It's extra large. Pin. And we will run that one now for $2. 1899, Imperial Encyclopedic Dictionary, Volume 10. So not the whole thing, but amazing illustrations inside. All right, so that one goes down here. What else do we have in here? Oh my gosh. This is in dire condition, but if you love New Kids on the Block, you may be interested in this. This is a New Kids on the Block comic book. Fall of 1990. Goodness, look at that. Your great grandmother worked at Otis Fensom Elevator Company in the Ordnance. That's so cool. That is so cool. All right, gonna run this for just $1. Anybody who likes the Backstreet Boys, you can probably take this and turn this into like ephemera. Backstreet's back, all right. Or No Kids on the Block, sorry. Not Backstreet Boys, New Kids on the Block. I obviously don't know. Ooh, a children's book, In Our Garden. Look how sweet that is. Printed in Canada by John Bradford Company Limited. There's no date at the front or back. Let me just show you the illustrations inside. These would look amazing framed. These would look absolutely amazing framed. All right, so we're going to run this under extra lightweight. $2, 10 seconds for this amazing children's book. Oh my gosh, look at those illustrations. Okay, that I will save. That's ephemera. I don't know why that's there. Ooh, this one's cool. Magic for Bartenders. Magic for Bartenders. Backstreet was, I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's very interesting. So this is an actual guide to how to do magic tricks as a bartender. If you've ever wanted to up your bartending game, and was that say property of the Sapphire Room, Peterborough, Ontario. Oh my goodness, what else is in here? Okay, I'm just looking in here, and there's just a lot of like skipping past the junk. Ugh. It's a junk box. So I'm gonna just move that because the rest of it looks like junk. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. The lead singer was from Alberta. I did not know that. The things you learn. Okay. All right. So should I do column number 1, column number 2, or column number 3? Because the rest of this one is just junk stuff. I can tell. It looks like it's all junk. Column number 2. Column number 2 it is. Thank you, everybody. Oh gosh, it's so heavy. Okay, taking it easy on myself. I'm gonna slow down. All right, gender identity, a guide to discovery. This will be medium. I picked this up the other day at the thrift store. An innovative guide to uncovering and understanding the complexities of your gender identity And this isn't that old. So, I mean, yeah. And if you have someone who's a friend, who is, as they used to call it, gender non-conforming, 2017, this actually helps you understand them better too. So it's like a workbook. 2017, running now for $2. An innovative guide to uncovering and understanding the complexities of gender identity. And it's a workbook that wasn't used by anyone. All right, put that in the save pile. I ran this one the other day too. The Joys of Jello. This is from, doesn't say. It says 5th edition. There's great recipes in here, Jello recipes like that. I love that. Okay, we have 2 children's books, it says. 2 vintage children's books. Merry Animal Tales. There's the back of it. Merry Animal Tales. Let's open it up. Oh dear, it's quite falling apart. Quite falling apart. Oh my goodness. Yep, it's really falling apart. There you go. Would you like a page? Let's see if there's any. Oh, there's some pictures. There's some illustrations in this, but it is falling apart. So I'm just going to run this under small for $1 in case anybody wants it for ephemera. Ow. Just smack myself in the face again. All right, put that down there. And then we have The Babe in the Bulrushes and Other Stories. So that would be Moses. It was presented to Martin from Grandma and Grandpa. Oh, is there a year on here? Look at that. Babe in the Bulrushes, Thomas Nelson and Sons. There's printed in Great Britain at the press of the publishers. Well, as opposed to, now there is a tear right there, but there's these beautiful illustrations. It does have the corner's been folded down. The Worship of the Golden Calf, The Spies and the Grapes of Eshel, Ruth and Naomi, Saul the Anointed King. So it's all Bible stories for children. And we'll run that one now. The Babe in the Bulrushes. If it doesn't sell now, I will put it in the box to be listed at some point in my library and create a proper library. Okay, let's see how, oh gosh, how much does this weigh? Okay, this is 2.5 pounds. This has to go in large. This is a children's sleepy time, nighttime storybook. It's got amazing images inside, all kinds of children's stories to read. So this is a great book if you've got kids to read some stories at night to them. I'm going to put that over here. Ooh, this one's pretty heavy. This is a medium. This is 100 Crooked Little Crime Stories. Let me just pin it so you can see the weight. Sorry, pin. Witness mysteries and crimes you are sure that are sure to puzzle and horrify. Virtually every kind of crime story is here, from Gerald Tollesford's police procedural to Ernest Leong's noir thriller. Investigate serial murder with Gary Lowe. Okay, so this is a collection of crime short stories. 100 crime short stories published in 1994. So if you like crime stories, this is 100 crime stories from different authors. All in here. There's The Man of the Knife. All right, I'll save that one because that one's cool. Dancing with the Devil, Confessions of an Undercover Agent. In this explosive and unforgettable memoir, Luis Diaz tells his gritty, colorful, painful, and even humorous life story, a story with all the raw emotion, power, and razor's edge danger of Wise Guy. Okay, I'm going to run this for just $1. And that is running now. Running now. $1 for Dancing with the Devil, Confessions of an Undercover Agent. Louise Diaz. Or Lewis. Lewis or Louise? What do we have next? Ooh. Beehive Toys and Novelties. New ideas in smart handbags. This is, it looks like knitting. Let me just double check. Is it all knitting or crochet? Might be both. Looks like mostly knitting. Yeah, so there's like knitted cushions and other accessories, as well as children's novelties, in all in one. And running that now. New ideas in smart handbags. I love old knitting and craft books. Look, you can make a ducky. You can make some duckies. I wonder if the duckies are crochet. Now we need to know. Definitely yours. There's a penguin, there's a rabbit, there's a kangaroo, there's tea cozies in here. Oh, I'm in love. Okay, I'm gonna put that in that box. What else is in here? Ooh, these are cool. Oliver, new musical. So this is a program from Oliver. Oh, this is a program from a production of Oliver. Run that in small. Okay, looks like there's going to be a series here of programs from Broadway Productions. It looks like it's on Broadway. Freely adapted from Oliver Twist, Peter Coe. Yeah, look at these. Look at these pictures. Amazing. Amazing. What's this one? Chicago. Chicago. This is selections from Chicago. If you can't be famous, be infamous. This is for piano. Ooh, there's all that jazz. I don't know what this means. I gotta sing. So this is for piano, but I'm sure it could be adapted to guitar. Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? Doo, doo. And all that jazz. I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down. And all that jazz. Start the car, I know we'll be spot. Okay, and ooh, The Music Man. It's a wonderful show, best musical of the year, America's Happiest Musical. And this has got pictures and everything from the production of The Music Man. This one's very cool. All right, running that one now. Mark Twain, if Mark Twain could have collaborated with Vachel Lindsay. Oh my gosh. Okay, next. Guys and Dolls. No, wait, The Sound of Music first. The Sound of Music. This is Something Good, lyrics and music by Richard Rogers from The Sound of Music. So this is the music for that. Perhaps I had a wicked childhood. Perhaps I had a miserable life. But somewhere in my wicked, miserable past, there must have been a moment of truth. For here you are, standing there, loving me, whether or not you should. So somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good. Guys and Dolls, a musical fable on Broadway. Another Broadway program for Guys and Dolls. And we will run that one now. Guys and Dolls, look how cool this is. So cool. I love that someone saved these. It's amazing. Hey everybody, let me know if my my internet is failing me at all, because I don't know. It doesn't tell me anymore if my internet, if I start to have a low connection. It used to give me a little signal, but it doesn't seem to do that anymore. South Pacific. South Pacific. This is another Broadway program, this time for South Pacific. Oh my gosh, look how pretty she is. South Pacific. I love these. I love these covers. These covers are amazing. This South Pacific, this one is for the Pulitzer Prize winning play. And does it have a year? No. Jean Ball, who plays Ensign Nellie Forbrush. Webb Tilton portrays Emile DeBeck. I don't know if this is the men who created it, how South Pacific was written. It could have happened. New Tales of South Pacific. I don't know if this was for the movie or for the... This souvenir book can be purchased from Al Greenstone. So this was definitely a program. So let's see. Captain George Brackett was played by Russ Brown, if that gives you an idea. It doesn't say the year. It does not say the year at all. So I have a feeling it's for the actual Broadway play souvenir program. Because there seems to be a lot of these. Like this one is the Ethel Merman in Gypsy, a new musical. This one, suggested by the memoirs of Gypsy Rose Lee. Let's see. Best damn musical, most satisfying of the season. Look at that. Program prepared by Seymour Crowitz, press representative. Stage production photographs by Friedman Albus. Yep, so this is the stage production. This is definitely the stage production of Gypsy, a new musical. Look at that. Yeah, definitely the stage production for these ones. Okay, what else is in here? I think this is Polish ceramics, if I remember correctly. I don't know for sure. But, oh, this is another collector's book for Zolne Ceramia. Let's do this for $1. And that's running now. I don't know. Does anyone have any of these? They're really pretty. Maybe it's not. Maybe Zolne means something else. I don't know. It's going to get donated. All right. Oh, God. Sports Illustrated 50th anniversary 2014 swimsuit issue. Okie dokie. And on the other side, it says 5 Decades of Sexy with Katie Upton. And then there's this one. So let's see what it weighs. There's some people who collect these. Oops. Oh, she's upside down. There's surprisingly enough, there is less skin on, there's more skin, less skin on this one. All right, that's going to be over a pound. So we need to run it here. $2 for the Sports Illustrated 50th anniversary edition. Ooh, there they are. I can go over there. What else? Oh my God, this is such a weird box. Associate Committee on Army Medical Research, the National Research Council of Canada, Medical Research and Development in the Canadian Army during World War II from 1942 to 1946. Spiral bound information, all, as you can see, typed about medical research and development in the Canadian Army during World War II. Gosh, I wonder what kind of experiments they were doing on those poor soldiers. What the heck is going on there? What is that? Recording electrical currents from veterans' wounded arm. Ooh. Sounds kind of cool. Okay, what else do we have here? The Pleasure of the Game, the story of the Toronto Cricket, Skating, and Curling Club from 1827 to night. Hello, Jen's Attic Treasures. You're in Nova Scotia. How is it going there? Are you enjoying your time? I love Nova Scotia. It's so pretty. I hope you're doing well, Jen. Thanks for popping in. I keep shopping for houses there. I keep getting tempted by houses, and then I signed up for realtor.com to send realtor.ca, I should say, to send me, and I keep seeing more. Okay, this is the Toronto Cricket Skating and Curling Club, 1827 to 1977. All right, that's going down there. What else do we have here? Charlie and the Cheese Monster. So we go from the cricket club to the cheese monster. Charlie takes a trip in his homemade rocket. He lands on the moon to discover that it's really made of cheese. Then he meets a strange creature who explains to him the real reason why the moon goes through phases every month. Oh, do tell. Do tell, Charlie. A charming bedtime story with a very cheesy ending. Oh, I don't want to spoiler alert it. Let's see. Look how cute this is. These are so cute. Okay. Let's go over here. Ooh, The Carousel Animal, photography by Gary Sinek, text by Tobin Fraley. C.W. Parker, when was this published? First Chronicle edition, 1987. Printed in Japan. Oh, distributed in Canada. So let me just see. I want to see the back here. I wonder if these are American or Canadian. Look at that. Look at the pictures. I don't know if anyone's been on an old carousel. If you want to, every Sunday, you can come to Roseneath, Ontario, and ride an antique carousel that's well over 100 years old. So these are all pictures of carousel animals, and there's all kinds of different ones, not just horses. Look at this, a rabbit. Okay, so the carousel animal, this is going to be under medium, and we will run that one now. It is so pretty. So pretty. There's a frog. Oh my gosh, I want to, and a camel. Oh my goodness, I want to ride a camel. Oops, I just dropped that. Okay, The Shows of London, a panoramic history of exhibitions 1600 to 1862. Oh my goodness, this is heavy as poop. Okay, this is over 4 pounds. I'm going to run it here. All right, 10 seconds. The Shows of London. Is there pictures in here? Please be some pictures in here. There we go. 1600 to 1862. You really got to be into that sort of thing to write an entire book that big about it. Oh, speaking of entire books. Maya of Guatemala. Life and Dress. Oh my goodness. I never thought about Guatemala. There's a place. This first edition of 20,000 copies is published and sold by Ixchel Textile Museum. Okay, I don't have a date, but hey, Squish 2026. Yes, I believe so. Oh, hi, how are you? Yes, The Shows of London, England. A berserk elephant gunned down in the heart of London, a machine for composing Latin hexameters, and the original rock band, 1841. These are but 3 of the sights that London curiosity seekers from every walk of life paid to see from the Elizabethan era to the mid-Victorian period. Examining hundreds of the wonderfully varied exhibitions that culminated in the Crystal Palace of 1851, this generously illustrated book sheds light on a vast and colorful expanse of English social history that has thus far remained wholly unsurveyed. So, oh my goodness, it is heavy as poop. I'm trying to see where the pictures are. There's not a lot. There's a lot of text. So this is, yes, about The Shows of London. I will run it again just in case you're interested. Just in case. Yeah, no worries, Squish. The Shows of London. I will have it around. So, oh gosh, it is super heavy. This one is also super heavy. This one is the Maya of Guatemala. and it's about the life and dress of the Mayan people of Guatemala and the history. Ooh, 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 I love these kind of pages. Let's see. Ooh, that's gorgeous. Okay. I know this one's amazing as well. There are some really amazing, it's a vast, weird collection because I'm unboxing. My space, these are definitely coffee table books. This is something you would have bought when you went to this museum in Guatemala, and then you would have taken it home with you. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's gonna go down here right now. Oh gosh. Ideal Marriage, Its Physiology and Technique. This is the book that doctors give to their patients. It has the unqualified endorsement of the medical profession. This is the best book I have ever seen on the technique of relief from marital infelicity. It is painstakingly thorough, matter of fact, clear and plain, without thought of embarrassment. It gives advice that can be understood and followed. This can do more to lessen conjugal unhappiness and to promote successful family life than all of the religious exhortations from Moses to Manning. Ideal Marriage. So when was this written? Its Physiology and Technique. It was originally published in 1926. This was republished in 1968, January 1968, printed and bound in the United States. So it's actually, it's an introduction and general physiology of sex. It talks about glimpses into the general human physiology of sex. It explains sexual physiology of the adult woman. 2 chapters on that. Yeah, it explains a lot of things. Yes, so yeah, or you would buy this if you were a couple in 1920s to 1965 and were wanting to figure out how to spice up your marriage, I guess. So extremely detailed. Basically a marital sex advice book from originally published in 1920s, and this was republished in 1968. I shouldn't open. I just realized I'm glad when I opened it, it went to a blank page because you never know. There might have been something Kama Sutra like in there. That would have been awkward. Okay, this is also medium. This is NBA basketball, an official fans guide from what year? 1994. 1994 basketball fan guide from 1994. So all of your 90s heroes are going to be in here. So that means probably Jordan a few hundred times. Okay. Baseball's back in town. From Controlled Media Corporation publication, Toronto. Dedicated to yada yada yada. Yeah, but when was this published? Why? So basically, I don't know what year this was, but let's see. Let's skip to the end. The end will give me a hint. Commerce Major League Worldwide. Controlled Media Corporation is deeply appreciative to the involvement of Labatt Breweries and the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce for this book. So it looks like this is, yeah, when the Blue Jays came. It's beginning of, so this is about the history of baseball in Toronto, from the early days all the way through to the Jays joining the major leagues. And I'm going to run that in medium, and that's running now. Baseball is back in town. It's a weird, wacky collection, Squish. Eventually, it will all be organized, but we have to renovate our basement because of a flood, and so all the books are just like a mishmash. It's just it's a mish and a mash because, and a lot of this stuff comes from estate sales, and then most of it comes from estate sales. So this one is all about the history of skating, Skating Elegance on Ice, and this was published in, oh my goodness, 1980. 1980. 1980. All your like Taller Cranston probably heroes. I don't know who this guy is, but he's probably famous, and they're probably famous, and I don't remember them because I was little back then. I loved watching skating when I was a kid. It was one of the things Mom and I would sit and watch because we thought it was fascinating. Something we definitely could not do ourselves. Hi, Loki. Are you here to visit? Prairie Born. Ooh, a poem by David Bouchard. Paintings by Peter Shostak. Prairie Born. Ooh, okay, I want to read this. Everyone, get ready. I want to read this. I want to read this poem. And Prairie Born focuses on the passing of the seasons and their effect on the people and the landscape. I bet you this is going to be freaking pretty. Oh, it's signed by him. What a treat reading with you, Julie. So this was given to Julie, signed by the author, David Bouchard. Look at these gorgeous images. Okay, Prairie Born. This is Orca. I don't know why I want to say Ochre. Orca Publishing. What year? Does not say. Oh, there we go. 1997. This one is not a first edition. Let's see. At night when I close my eyes to go to sleep, I still see all those rocks. Did anyone pick rocks as a kid for money in the farmer's fields? I did it once. I did not enjoy the experience. And the prairie continues to live in my heart. It's much more than memories that tell me apart. It's the wind and the sun and the cold and the snow, only things that a child of the prairie would know. If I had a penny for each time I spoke of cold howling winds, of deep drifting snow, of darkness of winter en route to the rink, of so many memories, I smile as I think. Knowing full well that others who've never lived there will nod and listen but don't really care. As morning, fine day, means nothing much more to me. It means next year we will make a bigger rink. Look at that. Making a rink outside. My gosh, these paintings look almost real. To me, it means come in and please shut the door. Will the kids be all right? Should I plug in the car? If I start shoveling now, will I get very far? Will I have to start over before I am done? Will the wind blow it back? It must weigh a ton. Fill your cup up. Let's visit. Remember the time when the snowbank was up past the telephone line? Here's me in a picture. I'm shoveling the drive. The snow line is over the roof on 3 sides. Say what? You can top that? We'll try this for size. I'd shoveled 3 hours, and to my surprise, that night as I came home, do you know what I saw? The wind blew it. There's this great picture of them on the big mountain of snow going tobogganing. I know that I'm rambling, but all this is true. It's more than a memory of times that I knew. It answers the mystery of what lies in our souls, where nature's the teacher for young and for old. It shapes us from childhood through sun and through rain, compels us to live for life's pleasures and pain. And the secret of me from the day of my birth is the nurturing seasons and rich prairie earth. Oh my God, I'm getting way too emotional. Oh, how many sacks of potatoes will we have? You've come to know spring as when snow finally leaves and thoughts turn to songbirds and flowers that please. But the truth is this time of the year's not in buds. It's rubber boots. It's rubbers and boots, filthy doormats and mud. Yet we found dry spots on which we could play with marbles or jump ropes on hard packed down clay. We all knew a puddle was somehow to find our brand new white baseball, but we didn't mind. For boys, boots are never high enough. Look at them playing in the big puddles. And we took out our bikes just as soon as we could, as Mum packed our parkas, our toques, and our hoods, and our vitamins, porridge, and cod liver oil. Like kids on the farm, we would thrive near fresh soil. And the prairie continues to live in my heart. It's much more than memories that tell me apart. It's the wind and the sun and the cold and the snow, only things that a child of the prairie will know. And there's them riding their bikes for miles and miles and miles. Oh my goodness. A child dreams of summer as picnics and games. We from the prairie have thoughts much the same. The difference for me is in how now I look. The answer you'll read on my face like a book. I'm young, yet I'm wrinkled, and I know why it's so. It's from years of playing baseball, from crouching down low, my eyes always squinting in dust and bright sun. These lines on my face are from years of good fun. When we think of summer, there's always a bug. This is true. A mosquito that hovers in swarms thick as rugs. While playing or eating or just walking outside, we'd fight them and lose. We'd run and we'd hide. Yet the prairie continues to live in my heart. It's much more than memories that tell me apart. It's the wind and the sun and the cold and the snow. Only things that a child of the prairie will know. Look how gorgeous these images are. Go back for a moment. Remember your fall. Leaves changing colors. You raked and you hauled. I too know this season, but for me it's much more. And the earth knows my secrets not found on her floor. It's a gift from the mountains that started at sea. It's fresh, crisp, new air, and it's not only me. Any child of the prairie will tell you for them that the air of September means winter again. Look at the bringing the cows home with, of course, a border collie. And I'll always remember the times that I stood alone on the prairie neath the stars when I could. My gaze towards heaven, my feet on the clay. While standing there breathing, I learned how to pray. And the prairie continues to live in my heart. It's much more than memories that tell me apart. It's the wind and the sun and the cold and the snow, only things that a child of the prairie will know. Oh, you've all heard the stories of snow and of cold, as Service and Keralik with passion have told, of times in their lives when records were set. Well, I've lived through winter, and I'll not forget that the cold on its own is a thing to be feared, but coupled with harsh wind as darkness draws near, it teaches respect for what nature can be, and it's taken the credit of what's come to be me. Look how gorgeous that is. Oh, we're almost there. You see, my hair's mostly wind, my eyes filled with grit. My skin's white, then brown, my lips chapped and split. I've lain on the prairie and heard grasses sigh. I've stared at the vast open bowl of the sky. I've seen all the castles and faces in clouds. My home is the prairie, and for that I am proud. Look at that amazing picture. And the prairie continues to live in our hearts. It's much more than memories that tell us apart. It's the wind, it's the sun, it's the cold, it's the snow. Only things that we kids from the prairies will know. Look how beautiful that is. Yeah. Oh, that's it. That is it. Nana is Nifty Thrifting. How are you? So, Prairie Born, Making Kim Cry. Running now. It's signed by the author, and it's a gorgeously illustrated poem about growing up in the prairies. I will definitely keep that. And then last in this box, and then we're going to do one more box. See if there's something in here that someone's interested in. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I started crying. I can't help it. Life in Sports. So this is a book of fabulous photographs from life's incomparable collection, chronicling great achievements in sports as well as the unique and unusual. And this is, oh, look at this. Discarded, but not thrown away. I bought this book to read another day. I love someone put that in there. And this was 89? First edition, it says. It says first edition. 1985. 1985. So amazing images from 1985 of sports, life in sports. This is a large book. We're going to run this for just $2. And while this is running, which box would you like me to do as the last box of today? Would you like me to do from box 1, column 2, or column 3, your choice. It's going to go over here. 1. Any other votes? Or we'll go with 1. As Dragoda has requested. Whoops. Sorry, the lighting's going to go off for a second because I need to move these books around. All right, column 1. Column 1 it is. Let's see what we got in column 1. Have to move these out of the way so I can put this box down flat. Yes, okay. All right, column 1. Oh, got it. Move this over here. Boom, get a boom. Okay, hang on. Oh, still got a tear there. Okay. Ooh, this is a real mishmash again. Oh gosh. Okay, here we go. We've got Home Idea Book published by Johns Manville. Helpful suggestions on how to get the most for your money in building, remodeling, decoration, and maintenance. From what year? Copyright 1938. 1938 Home Idea Guide, including and renovation guide with home plans and everything. Let's see. Wonder if it has any. Today's home gives you more house for your money. Site selection and home planning. The modern new roof. How to select a modern 1930s new roof for your home. Asphalt, which they of course produced. Plaster and wall ceilings. The whole 9 yards is in here. So 1938 publication for Home Idea Book by Johns Manville. This is kind of like an advertising informational guide, which obviously told you that all of their products were the best products. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, it's a little notebook with Edinburgh. It's got Edinburgh, Donna. It's where you were born, if you're still here. Yeah, it's just an old school book. It doesn't look like it's been used. Nope, just an old school book. This would make a great junk journal because it's already got a pretty cover, and then you could junk journal inside here. That's what a lot of people do. They take these old school books and turn them into junk journals. Okay, what else do we have? We have Peace Tower, a Parliament Hill Peace Tower. And I guess there was a list of things where they wanted to go. So this is a guide to the Peace Tower from, I don't know what year. Anyways, guide to the Peace Tower. Put that under extra lightweight or ephemera. I'll put it under ephemera. Start. And we'll do that for $1. Running now. Peace Tower guide. Looks like 1950s. Hard to tell. They didn't put the date. Okay, thank you for looking at the Peace Tower. Ooh, Banff, Canada's first national park. A history and a memory of Rocky Mountains Park. Published in... Oh, it was given to Neil as a present. 1975 from Summer Thought Limited. Printed and bound in Canada. All rights reserved. All right, so history of Banff National Park. Running now. This will definitely go. If it doesn't sell, it'll go in my Canadiana collection. Banff National Park, 1975. Ooh. Indian Heritage of the Southwest, featuring full-color photos of National Park Service monuments. 19, what year does it say? It's got, yeah, it doesn't say, but it's got images of Southwest Native Indigenous peoples, and that's running now. Look at those sweet, look how sweet that baby is. It's all the different indigenous tribes. Florence. Images of America, Florence. I don't know, it's somebody put their name there. Published in what year? 2007. So Florence is in what? Where is Florence? Doesn't say. Oh, wait. In 1866, Florence rose on the banks of the Gila River in south central Arizona. Okay. All right. Arizona history book for Florence, which is a town that was founded in 1866. It's got pictures and information about Florence. Fascinating. All right. I don't tend to save American history as much as I do. Alex Atkinson and Ronald Searle, USA for Beginners. This is tongue in cheek. By Rocking Chair Across America. So this is kind of a, when was this published? 1959. 1959. It's kind of a satire of the United States. 1959. They wrote satire books. So this one, running now, USA for Beginners by Atkinson and Searle. A satire book about the United States of America. Ooh, this one. Oh, this one's the funny one. This is another satire book. This one is older. This is 1917, called The Family Album. This is the bigger album from upstairs. Copyright 1917, the Riley and Britton Company. So they have all, it's basically satire. So they got pictures of the different family members. Like there's Emil Claus. He used to run a shop here, but now he's a teacher in a barber college up in Chicago. Professor Claus of the chair of applied Bayrum, Paul calls him. Maybe Pa knows what that means, but it's got me faded. Look how he's standing, just like he was saying. Next, gent, turn over. So then you got to turn the page, turn over. It keeps saying turn over, so you're supposed to turn to the next page. So each one of them has got like a cute little, like William Tecumseh Sherman Sparks, that is. It's all just kind of like little jokes. So this is called The Family Album. It's a satire book, comedy book from 1917. And I love the fact that there's all these images inside. And there's space to put your own family in there if you want to, including the author. 1917 comedy. Joseph Conrad, Almayer's Folly. It's in a jacket. Look how great this cover is. Joseph Conrad, Almayer's Folly. This was written in, look at that, $30 at the bookstore. Look at how amazing that is. Drawings by Clark Hutton, 1962. Printed in Great Britain. So, Joseph Conrad, Almayer's Folly. Gonna run that one now. It also does have its actual physical jacket. That's running now, 1962. All right, that one we save for sure. Where, when, and how to catch fish on the east coast of Florida. Oh my gosh. It looks like it's missing some pages. So I don't know the date. Although it says I first came to Florida early February 1855. So I have a feeling that this is an early 1900. There's all the fish. So this is where, when, and how to catch fish off the east coast of Florida. So I've got all the fish are in here and information about how to catch each species. And look at this cover. It's an amazing cover. All right, this is going to go in medium. I am not going to start this for $2. This will start at $5, which is still like a tenth of what I would put it if I put it in my booth. Alrighty. Okay, let's do a few more. Toronto the Good. Let's see. Merry Christmas, Neil. An album of Colonial Hogtown, published in 1978. 1978. All right. Running now. 1978, Toronto the Good. An album of Colonial Hogtown. Let's see what else we have here. The Boys of Saturday Night, Inside Hockey Night in Canada. Welcome in. We're unboxing today. So I'm just going through each one as they come out of the box. If there's something you're looking for, let me know. We may have already unboxed it and I can grab it for you. Thanks for joining. I'm just having some fun sorting through all these boxes of books. The Terror of St. Trinians by Timothy Shai and Ronald Serre, for the first time, the full sword story. This is from, oh my gosh, look at that. I love these illustrations. 1952. This is second impression, 1952. Look at these amazing. That's amazing. All right, running now for $2. The Terror of St. Trinians. All right, thanks for looking at that. And what else do we have in here? All right, last item in this box is New Dinner for Two, cookbook by Betty Crocker. My mom had this one. She just had a different size of this one. This one is 1964. 1964, Dinner for Two. All right, that is it. That is it for today. So let's find someone to raid. Let's see. There we go. We're going to go into